Okay, so today we're finally gonna look at the estrogenics. We're gonna talk about the 10 estrogenics that are ruining your life and where you can find them. And then we're gonna talk about 7 of the things that they cause to you. Okay, so the first estrogenic that, or I should say, what are estrogenics? Well, estrogenics are substances that contain uh, estrogen or some substance similar to estrogen that is acting or that is functioning similarly as estrogen, which you can look up what it does. It's a hormone that's not quite opposite of testosterone, but you can imagine it like that. So the first estrogenic that we're gonna talk about are phytoestrogens. These are are plants that contain estrogen. There are 4 plants that you should know that contain estrogen. Well, there are 4, but 2 of them you can't eat, and 2 of them you should avoid any kind of a smoke or anything like that. Those 2 where you have to avoid smoke or anything, even breathing in are lavender and cannabis. Those 2 contain estrogen, and you aren't gonna eat them, you're gonna breathe them in. So you should avoid these 2. Okay, now the 2 that you should not eat, the other 2 of the 4 are soy and flaxseed. These contain a lot of estrogen, about, if I remember correctly, one of them contains about 50,000 times more than the third least or third most estrogenic seed or bean or anything, and the other one contains about, or it was 20,000 times. I'm not sure exactly about the numbers, but it's in the thousands, tens of thousands of times more estrogenic. So you should make sure that you avoid anything that contains soy. You can find soy even in your protein shake, which is annoying, but you can try to find protein shakes without the soy. It's possible. So that's something I would suggest you do. Okay, those were the first estrogenics. Now the second estrogenics are fungus estrogenics. I'm not gonna try to say the correct name of them because it's super hard for me. Okay, it's not hard. Mycoestrogens. Those are, as I said, fungus estrogenics, and they are in mold. Anything moldy, or if grains are moldy and you make something from those grains, it's gonna contain these mycoestrogens, which, again, the same as soy or any other estrogenic, is not good for us. And the bad thing about this is that farmers readily use these moldy grains to feed cows and whatever other farm animal they have, and then their meat contains these mycoestrogens, and again, it's just best for us. So if you want to eat some meat, you should try to search for the grass-fed version. But yeah, trying to avoid these is hard. Okay, the third estrogenics that we're gonna talk about is atrazine. Atrazine is a herbicide. It's a herbicide that is used in fields by farmers, and it's highly estrogenic. So anywhere you get this atrazine, it of course gets absorbed by the plants, and then it also gets absorbed by the water in the ground. So we're getting double doses of atrazine. Well, are we? Not everyone. Atrazine is, for example, completely banned in the European Union, not in America, and not in other countries. So with this atrazine or any other estrogenic, you should look up if your country did ban them or not, because it can be banned in your country and then you don't have to worry about them. But yeah, it's a nasty stuff, and you should really try to steer clear of it. Okay, the fourth estrogenic we're gonna talk about are triclosan and APEs. These are found in soaps and other cleaning products. For example, you can find them even in your toothpaste. So if you're looking for getting rid of these, you would have to go into the and look at what the soap contains and try to search if there are written any, if there is triclosan and APEs written or not. Of course, you can find soaps without these estrogenics, and that's what you should use for yourself, because you can find them and they are the healthiest for you. Okay, the fifth one is or a part of our group of estrogenics that you find in sunscreens and again soaps, and they are called BPs and 4-MBC. They are, I don't want to say their whole name because it's super hard. The first one is benzophenone, and the second one is much harder. I'm not gonna say that, but you should know that they are in cheap sunscreens, and you can again find them in the list of things the sunscreen contains. So you will want to search for it if it's there, not to buy it. The sixth the next estrogenic that we're gonna talk about is Red 40 or Red 3. It's a food coloring, or not just food coloring, it's even used in a makeup, and again it's everything is estrogenic, everything on this list, okay, and it's really not good for you. This is even, I would say, almost worse than other parts of this list, because it is contained in foods that children can buy and eat all the time, and it causes them to have ADHD, which really is not good. Like, why would you use something that causes ADHD and other problems in a food? Why? I don't know, but again, this is, or not all, but some of these are banned in European Union and other countries in the world, but most of these are not banned in the least in the USA. Okay, the seventh estrogenics are parabens. Parabens are hidden in most of the contents of products under the word fragrance or perfume. They are the fragrances that are in any of these cosmetic or any kind of thing that we use, and again, estrogenic, bad for our health. Why, we're gonna say later. Okay, so the eighth one on this IRS 10 list, Iller Productive System 10 list, which is not my my name for this. It's name created by the author of the book Estrogeneration, from which I'm taking this information, Anthony G. J. And you can find all of these things in the book Estrogeneration with even more in more depth. Okay, the eighth one is phthalates. Phthalates are additives in plastics, so anything containing or anything plastic is gonna contain phthalates, and we absorb them when we drink from water bottles. We absorb them when we wear clothes that contain plastics. We absorb them when we use anything that is plastic and it touches our skin. Now, the ninth estrogenic also relates to plastics, and these are BPA and BPS and their derivatives. These are again plastics, and you can find on a lot of bottles that they are gonna say BPA free. It's because they want to say that their bottles are healthy and aren't gonna cause you any trouble. Well, they can be BPA free, but that does not mean that they are BPS free, BPFA free. Well, there is a ton of derivatives of these two, and just getting in contact with them is bad for you. Now, the last estrogenic on this list is EE2, or any kind of birth control hormone. These are estrogenic by its nature, and you might think, oh, I'm a man, I don't use hormonal birth control, which means that it doesn't affect me. You're wrong, because not BPA, EE2 is such a nasty little thing that it does not dissolve in our body that easily, and it goes out of the women's body when they go on the toilet. Okay, they go on the toilet and it gets into the water, and from the water it goes into the water cleaning factory, or whatever it could be called, and from that it most of the times gets back into our drinking water. So our drinking water contains EE2, which means every one of us is using hormonal birth control, which is really bad when you say it. Now, those were the 10 estrogenics on the IRS reproductive system 10 list. Now, let's jump into the 7 things it does to us. Okay, so first of the 7 things that are detrimental to us that the estrogenics do is they help us gain fat. We gain fat because the estrogenics are hydrophobic, which means they don't like mixing in water. So they find fats and they catch onto the fats. But these fats also are used for catching our testosterone and natural estrogen that we have in our body. So if these artificial estrogenics are taking up this place for our testosterone or estrogen, I'm jumping a little bit ahead, it causes us to lower our natural levels of these hormones. Okay, the second of the 7 things is depression. I right now can't remember why, but estrogenics are causing us to be more depressed than ever before, and it's really bad for us because it means we're more unmotivated, are not gonna achieve what we want to achieve, and depression is just bad for us. So that's another thing that it does. The third thing is that it disrupts our hormones, as I said, that it takes up the spaces on fats and in receptors of these hormones, as is testosterone or natural estrogen in our body. So then we get rid of our natural hormones and have just these artificial ones in us, and it's not being good to us. The fourth one is that it disrupts our immune system. It makes our immune system weaker and is by this causing us to be more prone to diseases and having our immune system just destroy itself, which we definitely don't want. Next is that was the fourth. The fifth one is that it causes us to have a higher chance for gene mutation, and by this I mean mutating in a way that starts spreading cancer. So estrogenics are raising the chances of us having cancer, which is really not good. Who would want to have cancer? The sixth, is blood clotting. It causes blood clots, and these can cause us to have heart attack, and the other one now I can't remember. It's when your brain does not get enough blood. So these are super dangerous to us because we can die because of them. Another reason why we should avoid estrogenics. And the last one is that it causes infertility. Yeah, it causes infertility in our species, and that means that I think it's if we have a long time exposure to even a low amount of estrogenics, it causes the second generation to be impotent, not able to have children, which sucks. it really is bad for us, and it's the main reason why you should stop using estrogenics in any kind. Okay, those were the 10 estrogenics and the 7 things that are detrimental to your health that they cause, and I hope you take this information and try to live a healthier lifestyle. And remember, hard work pays off.